I would smack a bitch if they sneezed in a zombie hallway. I'm not even smacking. I'm just gonna trip you. You put my life in danger because you couldn't hold in your little bitch ass sneeze?
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me.
Are apartments good in a zombie apocalypse? Let's find out. I don't think
Ever since
so,
I saw
but...
Wreck back in 2007.
Oh my god, absolute banger of a movie, baby! If y'all have never watched Wreck, y'all need to watch it. I don't know. I'm thinking about quarantine, but either way, I might have to watch this. I don't know.
I wondered, could you actually survive an outbreak in an apartment building?
No, there's absolutely no way, especially if there's other survivors in your building. You are probably going to get cooked. There's no way around it.
That movie made one thing clear. If you're not quiet, you're not alive.
Exactly.
And your neighbor's idea of stealth is screaming bloody murder while swan diving down the stairwell.
Exactly. Wait, yes, I have watched that movie. That's Quarantine. That is not Wreck. That's Quarantine.
And then came Night Eats the World. A lonely guy goes full introvert with zombies below.
I've watched this
and
one
then
too.
Sweet Home and Hashtag Alive rekindled my interest. So let's
Hashtag
stop
Alive,
wondering and
eh.
actually break it down. Let's set the ground rules so we're on the same page first. Classic walkers, no Olympic sprinters.
Oh!
Just your quintessential zombie. As for the apartment building, we're talking...
No sprinters, baby. I'm surviving anywhere, dude. There's no sprinters. We out here ching ching. Grr. John Wick style. Get the fuck out of here. You think that I'm not gonna survive against some walkers? Come on, bro. Humans are more dangerous at that point. Humans are more dangerous at that point, dude. Wreck is quarantine in Spanish. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Depends on the zombie type. I'm shooting my brain out if I heard a clicker. Yeah, I agree with that point.
Talking about your typical basic ass apartment building. Cheap ass walls, thin enough to hear your neighbors sneeze through. You, alone or with a small group of 4 to 6 people, minimal gear, some street smarts, and no plot armor. You're not out here playing hero. You're just trying to avoid becoming a permanent stain in the hallway like your neighbor over here. Alright, let's pretend you're not totally screwed and go over all the things that give you a fighting chance.
Elevation. Yeah,
Upper floors
elevation
put
will
distance
help
between
you.
you and the chaos. Zombies can't climb well either, so if you block or destroy the stairwell, you've got a bottleneck that's easy to defend. Balconies and rooftops are perfect for makeshift gardens or collecting rainwater. They're also ideal for yelling at other survivors like your medieval landlord.
Your mother was a hamster and your
This audio is so low. It's not me. It's just the video. He did not level out this audio at all.
father smelt of elderberries.
11 viewers is a good day.
Most apartment
Limited
buildings only
entry
have a few
points.
ways in, and you can barricade those like your rent depends on it. They also have narrow stairwells that you can use to funnel zombies or raiders through. Realistically, you won't be able to block every door and window though. Some things will slip through, so you'll need to stay alert and reinforce what you can. Your best bet is probably to block or destroy the stairs to cut off access entirely, but that means you'll need to figure out a reliable way to get back up or down.
Thanks, Titan. All
Every
kinds
unit
of
is a
loot.
potential treasure.
Yeah, okay, so I understand what he's talking about with the elevation and everything, but the problem is that if you are not the only survivor inside of the apartment building, that could lead to issues. If there's another survivor and they don't know how to keep their mouth shut, they don't know how to be careful, they don't know how to actually block off certain parts of the apartment building, they get greedy, they're only thinking about themselves, that could lead to major issues immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to be careful about who you choose to survive with inside of any apocalyptic situation. That's how I feel about it.
You might find abandoned food, batteries, or tools. Maybe even weapons. There could be old radios, walkie-talkies, or if you're lucky, a hidden stash of Twinkies.
Zombieland.
Multiple apartments means multiple chances to get lucky. Supply-wise, not romantically. That ship probably sailed when the outbreak happened.
Group survival
If you've got a
dynamics.
small group with you, you can rotate shifts for lookout duty, divide chores, and cover more ground. Someone keeps watch while another person prepares food, another packs up gear, and one unlucky bastard gets to take care of the clogged toilet situation.
Stay at toilet. Oh, wow.
Ew.
Absolutely disgusting.
Bonus points if someone's got medical skills or is just really good at staying calm when things go sideways.
He's going through these points really quick, which I do appreciate. The other thing is that you don't really want to be surviving with a ton of people unless you have the resources to survive with a bunch of people. Because if you don't have enough food, yet you have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mouths to feed, then you're just going to have to keep on scavenging more and more and more. Unless you have the ability to plant food and actually make use of it, you have to be careful with the amount of people that you are surviving with. It sounds fucked up, but that's why in a lot of these TV TV shows and everything like that, they have like a cutoff point of like, we can't keep letting people in. I don't know if y'all have watched The Last of Us season 2, but Joel said it in the first episode, like maybe we shouldn't keep on bringing people in because the resources are getting tighter and tighter. That's just a nitpick for me. I know that one homie gonna eat me first chance he gets. I'm too scrumdiddly yum-yums. They're gonna be on my ass immediately. I already know. Access to urban
Being in the
resources.
city means you're surrounded by potential supply runs. Pharmacies, hardware stores, and markets are all within walking or running distance. Risky, sure, but in the early days while others are panicking, you might actually stockpile enough to stay put for a while. Even solo, you should be able to get enough goodies if you're early enough to the looting extravaganza.
Was that the only point that he had for that? Obviously, if you're early enough to get to the resources, then you have a better chance, but you also have a better chance of getting injured or killed doing that. Every single person is going to be at the grocery store. Every single person is going to be at the pharmacy. Every single person is going to be going for the same things. Canned goods, water. Those are the two things that you go for immediately. Oh, and ammo. Those are the three things that are going to be immediately attacked by every single survivor, bro.
If you have rope, bed sheets, a long extension cord, then you've got options. You can put up a pulley system between balconies to move supplies.
Bullshit.
Rig up a fire escape or emergency slide with a mattress. Hell, you can even zip line to the next building if you've got the nerve to do it and a decent landing strategy.
He's watched too much movies, bro. I'm not gonna lie. No normal person is going to be doing all this shit. I guarantee you that they're gonna be scared as hell. They're not doing this, bro. Oh, hidden utilities.
Even if the grid's gone, some buildings have backup water tanks, solar panels, or emergency generators. If the plumbing still works for a bit, you can fill every tub in the apartment building, every pot, and every empty bottle you find. Stockpile water like it's post-apocalyptic gold.
You know what?
Which it honestly kind of is.
That point kind of makes sense, but the thing is, an entire apartment building running on a generator is not going to last that long. That power is not going to last. If it's on solar panels, that's a little different. But he also made a very good point with the water situation. However, I don't know if I'm just going to let water sit inside of a tub for whatever amount of time. With the amount of bacteria that are in those tubs, I'm not sure you really want to drink that. You're probably going to get a little sicky. Mental comfort.
Beds, blankets, furniture, even working toilets. These aren't just luxuries, they're anchors to the old world. In the middle of an undead nightmare, that little slice of normalcy can keep you sane. A familiar ceiling to stare at, a door to close, a warm corner where you don't have to sleep with one eye open or swat the bugs off your face. That's the kind of psychological buffer that keeps your sanity intact.
True.
Even if everything outside is pure chaos, inside, you're in your own little bubble.
It's also, what's that movie? The one where the guy survived on the deserted island and he just had the coconut or the soccer ball, whatever it was, and he would speak to it. That basically kept him in check. If you don't have any like communication, you will just lose your mind. It's just gonna happen.
If you're alone, you can move quietly and avoid drawing attention.
Castaway. Thank you,
No
Titan.
noisy group chatter, no one tripping over furniture, and no accidental alarms going off. When stealth is your best defense, flying under the radar can be a real lifesaver. Solo survivors can slip through tight spaces, listen for danger without distractions, and change plans on the fly without having to convince everyone else. You don't have to worry about someone else panicking or making a bad call. Need to hide in a closet for a few hours? No problem. Want to sneak past a hallway full of zombies without somebody sneezing at the worst possible moment? That's much easier on your own.
What are the cons?
All right, now that we've enjoyed our little survival daydream, let's get real about all the things that can actually take us out.
Limited food. Well, this is always
Apartments
this is
aren't
gonna happen
farms.
to everybody.
Once you've raided the cupboards and eaten every last can of beans and pasta in a 10-floor radius, you've got a serious problem. Balconies and rooftops might give you space to grow a few herbs or tomatoes, but that's not a food plan, that's garnish. Long-term survival means leaving the building, and that's where things get dangerous.
I would smack a bitch if they sneezed in a zombie hallway. Oh yeah, 100%, because they actually just killed you. I'm not even smacking. I'm just gonna trip you and I'm running. I'm not gonna lie. You put my life in danger because you couldn't hold in your little bitch ass sneeze? Yeah, you're done, buddy. GG's. Have a good night. Humans are social creatures by nature, 100%.
If the ground floor gets overrun, you're stuck above it, cut off from any escape. Elevators are useless, and fire escapes either non-existent or totally exposed, meaning every zombie, looter, or desperate survivor can see you climbing it from a block away. It's basically a spotlight on a ladder telling everyone how to get into your base. So if you destroyed your only way down to stay safe, congrats. You've just upgraded your apartment to a deluxe panic room with a view. Just remember, when zombies pile up below, you're less of a survivor and more of a limited time rooftop special.
Fires are fatal.
Apartments
Obviously.
burn and they burn fast. All it takes is one bad cooking
Fires are-
accident, one Molotov top.
Fires are fatal in regular day-to-day life. Yo, Kenny, why the fuck do you always have to talk about pregnant people, bro? You be doing that shit on purpose to get under my skin.
Lost from a panic survivor, or one power surge to turn your shelter into a giant barbecue. There's no escape hatch, just smoke, panic, and maybe a dramatic leap off a balcony you regret halfway down.
You are loud and obvious.
Running a generator, slamming doors, arguing with Dave from 4B about canned peaches. Sound travels, zombies hear it, hostile survivors hear it, and if you're lighting candles or flashlights at night, you've basically got a glowing neon sign that says, hey, dinner's upstairs.
See, that's what I'm talking about, especially when you're running a generator, bro. That is just not good news. If you're running a generator, you are probably going to get caught immediately. Even if there's one light inside of the entire apartment building on, somebody wasn't able to switch the light off before they left for work, and then all of a sudden the apocalypse broke out and now their light's on because the power came back on. That's a beacon letting everybody in the area know, hey, that building has power. Let's go over there. You don't want that. You don't want to be in that situation.
Early on, you might get away with this, but as people get desperate, you're going to want to keep a low profile.
Weak walls, weaker
Most apartments
doors.
aren't exactly made of castle-grade material. We're talking thin drywall, cheap wood, hollow corridors that you can practically rip in half like cardboard.
Yeah, apartment doors and walls are terribly bad. You could accidentally fall into your wall and immediately break it without
If
a
a raider
question.
wants in or enough zombies slam against your door, you're not holding them back, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Corpses and contagion.
Zombies don't clean up after themselves. If you kill one in the hallway, that's a biohazard. If someone dies in the unit next door and turns, that smell is coming through the vents. You're going to need to sanitize, quarantine, and figure out what to do with the bodies. Suddenly, you'll realize the real horror isn't the zombies, it's figuring out who's on corpse duty this week. If you're solo, then it's perma-corpse duty for you, so good luck and have fun with that.
That's so ass. That's terrible. Being on permanent corpse duty because you don't want that smell to be lingering is so ass. Medical emergencies, game over. Yeah, that's true. Even if you caught the flu, bro, that's like a really dangerous situation in an apocalypse. You need antibiotics off rip or else you're just gonna die.
Broken bone, gut infection, or food poisoning.
Shut
You're not getting
up.
airlifted out. There's no ambulance on the way either. Even a simple injury could spiral into death or worse, make you turn. Every scrape is a potential disaster, and every cough gets suspicious looks from the group.
Oh.
Got a fever? Congratulations. You're now the most unpopular person on the floor.
Sanitation snowballs
No working
fast.
toilets, no garbage pickup. You better figure out how to handle waste fast, or your shelter becomes a disease factory. Overflowing bathrooms, rotting food, and stagnant water can make the apocalypse way worse than just the zombies.
I haven't really thought about that before, but it's true.
4 to 6 people locked in tight quarters with stress, hunger, and fear. Arguments will happen. Maybe over food, maybe over sleep shifts, maybe over someone eating the last Twinkie without asking. Worst case scenario, someone cracks under pressure. And now you've got an inside threat to deal with, but if you're solo, then you're good on this front.
You're in zombie central.
Urban areas are the
obviously.
first to fall. More people means more zombies, and more zombies means more danger right outside your walls. The undead don't knock, they pile up, break through, and never stop coming. All it takes is one breach, one horde, or one desperate group kicking your barricade, and your stronghold becomes a tomb.
Facts. Power, water, and hope will all
Water
run
pressure,
out.
electricity, and gas, it won't last forever. And when those go, so does the illusion of normalcy. No lights, no hot shower, no flushing toilets, just darkness, desperation, and a countdown to your next supply run. And the later you are into the zombie outbreak, the riskier and less lucrative these supply runs become.
At a certain point, if you're living in the apocalypse for a certain amount of time, like I would even say just like 1 year, 1 or 2 years, you better at that point already have a working farm, like a working crop system, a working water filtration system, because you're about to run out of all food and water options. There's no way that you're not gonna run out of it. Like in The Last of Us, I'm pretty sure they use the ration cards. That's how you pay for your food and your water. You need to be able to have resources that you created. If you don't, and you're still looking around for canned goods, for bottles of water, for medicine, everything like that, if there are other survivors in your area, the likelihood of you finding anything useful gets lower and lower and lower.
Climbing stairs constantly takes a toll, especially with supplies. You'll wear out fast. And if you're solo, the mental toll of being isolated with nothing but moaning downstairs and creaks in the hall, that can push anyone past the edge, even without a bite.
Verdict. Okay, let's hear his verdict.
Before we make the final call, let's break down the pros and cons one last time. Upper floor gives you distance and defensive control. Few entry points make building easier to secure and funnel threats. Lots of loot. Every apartment's a chance to find food, tools, or gear. Small groups can rotate duties, stay alert, and keep things running. City access means early supply runs could stock you up fast. Improvisation. Ropes, sheets, cords can help you move gear or escape creatively. Hidden utilities, like backup water or power, can buy you time. Comfort matters. Bed, furniture, working toilets help you stay sane. Going solo means stealth, silence, and total control of your actions if that's the route you want to go. The cons. Noise travels, and one slip up can bring the horde. Trapped inside if exits get blocked or overrun. Thin walls mean even whispers can be risky. Supplies run out fast if you can't resupply.
Whispers being risky is kind of a stretch. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that that's really something to worry about. Like a whisper, I don't think that that's gonna be too bad.
Isolation hits hard, especially solo. Buildings break down along with plumbing, air, and sanitation. Fires are deadly and hard to stop once they start. Other survivors might be a bigger threat than zombies. You're in Zombie Central. Cities equal more undead. Medical emergencies are a death sentence without help or supplies. Group tension, clashing personalities, stress, and mental fatigue. Bringing supplies up and down stairs is exhausting. Eventually, you have to go further and further for supplies. So, could you survive a zombie apocalypse in an apartment building? If you're with a group of 4 to 6 people, you've got a solid shot, especially early on. You can share the load, protect each other, loot more efficiently, and keep morale up. Short-term group survival rating, 7 out of 10.
You know what? I'm gonna give my own opinion. I like that he broke everything down. Now I'm gonna give my opinion on if you could survive or not inside of an apartment building. I truly believe that you have the capability to survive in an apartment building if you have 4 to 6 people, like he said, because there's multiple entrances, there's multiple ways of leaving. So you could have people watching 2 different ways. Everything's barricaded. If you have a water system going on top of the roof or whatever the case is, somebody could be making any like crops on the top of the building. They could be collecting all types of water and everything like that. Is it the smartest play? Probably not, because once again, he did say that you are in Zombie Central. Anywhere that has a very large apartment building is probably going to be overran with zombies. It's not like every single person was at work, they were out having a drink or something when the apocalypse happened. A lot of people will still be at home. You are going to be stuck inside of a building with a ton of people all at once, and some of them may be acting out. Why? Because their entire life just came to an end. It's probably not a good idea to stay inside of an apartment building unless it's like 6 months into the apocalypse. You know that the apartment building is basically empty, and even at that point there might be some dead roaming around, but you won't know until you go clear it out. It could be a good thing, but probably not going to be a good thing. There's too many stairs, too many points of access. It might be good to loot, but to actually stay there and say this is going to be our home of operations, I don't think that that's a good idea, brother. Especially in the case that zombies break down and start flooding inside of the apartment building, you're gonna kind of have your back up against the wall. Yes, you can close the doors, you can block the doors, but if your apartment building has very, very thin walls, very thin doors, you might just die if you get backed into a corner. Do you think that you could survive in an apartment building during a zombie apocalypse? Let me know in the comments, and we'll talk to you on the next. Take care.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me. I don't think you see me when you fucking up all in your dream. I don't think you got trust for me. Just ain't what I